I don't think people understand just how much was lost when Baghdad's House of Wisdom vanished from history. Imagine a city that once stood as the beating heart of knowledge. Picture the first rays of dawn illuminating the rooftops of a city alive with the hum of scholars, merchants, poets, and dreamers. This was not just any city, it was a place where the pursuit of wisdom was woven into the very fabric of daily life. In the heart of the medieval world, Baghdad rose as a beacon, drawing people from distant lands, all eager to share in the great exchange of ideas. Its streets echoed with the footsteps of thinkers and visionaries, each contributing to a vibrant tapestry of learning and discovery. Imagine walking through bustling markets where traders from China, India, Africa, and Europe exchanged not only goods, but also stories, philosophies, and scientific marvels. In Baghdad, knowledge was currency, and books were treasures more valuable than gold. Thousands of manuscripts on mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, and poetry filled the city's libraries and private collections. Scholars gathered in candlelit rooms, poring over texts in Arabic, Greek, Persian, Sanskrit, and Syriac, translating and preserving the wisdom of ages past. Here, the world's greatest minds met, debated, and collaborated, forging new paths in science and the arts. Baghdad was a living crossroads where civilizations connected and flourished through the written word, and at its center, a treasure beyond measure, the legendary House of Wisdom. This was no ordinary library, it was a grand institution, a sanctuary for the curious and the brilliant. Within its walls, scholars from every corner of the known world gathered to translate, study, and expand upon the knowledge of ancient civilizations. The House of Wisdom was a place where boundaries faded, where a Persian mathematician might work alongside a Greek philosopher, or an Arab astronomer might debate with an Indian physician. It was here that algebra was born, that the stars were mapped, and that the secrets of the natural world were unlocked. The House of Wisdom was the heart of Baghdad's intellectual life, a symbol of humanity's endless quest to understand the universe. But this golden age was not destined to last forever. In the year 1258, a shadow fell over Baghdad. The Mongol armies, led by Hulagu Khan, swept across the land, bringing devastation in their wake. The city that had once been a sanctuary for knowledge became a battlefield. The House of Wisdom, the greatest library of its time, was engulfed in fire and blood. Priceless manuscripts, works that had taken centuries to collect, translate, and preserve, were thrown into the Tigris River or burned to ashes. Scholars who had dedicated their lives to learning were forced to flee or perished in the chaos. The destruction was so complete that it sent shockwaves through the world, marking the end of an era. Today, we look back on the ruins of Baghdad's Grand Library and wonder what was lost, what secrets, what discoveries, what dreams vanished in that inferno. Yet, the story of the House of Wisdom is not only one of tragedy, it is a testament to the power of knowledge and to the resilience of the human spirit. The legacy of Baghdad's scholars lives on in the books we read, the science we practice, and the questions we continue to ask. Join us as we uncover the tragic story of Baghdad's Grand Library and celebrate the enduring light of wisdom that can never truly be extinguished. In the 8th century, under the enlightened rule of Caliph Harun al-Rashid, the city of Baghdad began a transformation that would echo through the centuries. Founded just a few decades earlier, Baghdad was strategically located along the Tigris River, quickly becoming a crossroads of trade, culture, and ideas. The city's circular design, with its grand gates and bustling markets, reflected both its ambition and its openness to the world. Harun al-Rashid, renowned for his wisdom and patronage of the arts, envisioned Baghdad as more than just a political capital. It was to be a center of learning and innovation, a place where the brightest minds could gather and flourish. Under his leadership, and later that of his son, al-Mamun, Baghdad blossomed into the intellectual capital of the world. The city's streets teemed with merchants, poets, scientists, and philosophers from every corner of the known world. In the lively marketplaces, ideas were exchanged as freely as goods, and the air buzzed with the excitement of discovery. Al-Mamun, himself a scholar and lover of knowledge, expanded his father's vision, inviting thinkers of all backgrounds, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, and others, to contribute to the city's vibrant intellectual life. Baghdad became a melting pot where cultures and disciplines mingled, giving rise to new ways of thinking and understanding the universe. At the heart of this golden age stood the legendary House of Wisdom, or Bait al-Hikmah, More than just a library, it was a beacon for scholars of every faith and background, a place where ancient texts were translated, preserved, and expanded upon. Here, mathematicians calculated the movements of the stars, physicians compiled medical encyclopedias, and philosophers debated the nature of existence. The House of Wisdom symbolized Baghdad's commitment to knowledge, tolerance, and progress, lighting the way for generations to come. But this was far more than a library. It was a vibrant academy where ancient Greek, Persian, Indian, and Syriac texts were translated into Arabic. Astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and philosophy flourished within these walls. Famous scholars like Hunayn ibn Ishaq al-Kindi and al-Khwarizmi transformed science itself. Some historians claim that at its height, the House of Wisdom housed over 1 million volumes, a collection rivaling the fabled Library of Alexandria. But fate had a darker chapter to write, a chapter that would forever alter the course of history and cast a long shadow over the Golden Age of Baghdad. The city, once a beacon of knowledge, culture, and prosperity, was about to face a calamity unlike any it had ever known. The winds of change were gathering, and with them came a sense of foreboding that crept through the city's winding streets and grand halls. In the year 1258, the Mongol armies, led by the formidable Hulagu Khan, set their sights on Baghdad. The Mongols, renowned for their military prowess and relentless conquests, had swept across Asia, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Now, their gaze was fixed on the heart of the Islamic world. As the thunder of hooves echoed across the plains, the people of Baghdad braced themselves for the storm that was about to break upon their city. The siege began, and for weeks Baghdad endured a relentless assault. The Mongols encircled the city, cutting off supplies and hope. Inside the walls, fear and uncertainty grew with each passing day. The defenders fought valiantly, but the odds were overwhelming. Hunger and desperation gnawed at the citizens, while the relentless battering of siege engines shook the very foundations of the city. And when the city finally fell, it was consumed by fire and horror. The once magnificent libraries, home to centuries of accumulated wisdom, were reduced to ashes. The Tigris River, it is said, ran black with the ink of countless manuscripts thrown into its waters. The streets echoed with the cries of those who had lost everything. Baghdad, the jewel of the world, was left in ruins, a stark reminder of how quickly greatness can be undone by the tides of war. The House of Wisdom was ransacked. Countless priceless works were thrown into the Tigris River. Legend says the river ran black with ink for days, the knowledge of centuries washing away in a single catastrophic moment. What humanity lost that day can never be measured. Entire fields of science and philosophy were set back generations. Yet, echoes of the House of Wisdom still live on, in the ideas and discoveries that survived. Today, when we speak of preserving knowledge, we remember Baghdad. We remember the House of Wisdom, the greatest library the world forgot. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we uncover more hidden chapters of history.